Coach Vance here, Senior International Weightlifting Coach and Professor of Sport and Exercise Science. I am going to give a quick demonstration on how testosterone boosters work but are still pretty deceptive. So they work but they don't really work. So it starts with your YouTube scientist there, right? And let's give him some money. All right, so he's got some money there, and by the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my videos so I can get some money, all right? But it starts with your YouTube scientist there, and he goes, studies 50% increase in testosterone. So let's look at how that actually happened. So you have a researcher, Mr. Researcher, and then you have Mr. Research Subject, which is your rodent oftentimes, and see he's got some little whiskers there, and he's going to be part of this research project, and he's got some testicles, some balls, and those produce testosterone through the gonads, and the researcher says, we have no more use for your balls, and then whack, no more testicles. So let's remove this guy's testicles here, and he becomes a sad rodent instead of a happy rodent. And Mrs. Rodent comes along and goes, OMG, you're like the James Bond of mice, and put babies in me. And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna play Call of Duty instead. I have no interest in that. So the researcher gives this rodent the testosterone booster 10,000 there, and it sends a signal to the adrenal glands. So when your gonads are not working, your adrenal glands produce just a little bit of testosterone right there. That's all you get. So you take this testosterone booster, give it to the rat, and it gets luteinizing, stimulating hormone. It goes to the adrenal gland or something that attaches to the receptors and whatnot. And you see, you can have, this is a syringe with 1 gram worth of testosterone. It's producing a little tiny bit there out of the adrenals, and that, what? Stimulates it, and it produces just a little bit more. And you go, okay, 10 to 50% increase. Yay, right? Except for, what is a 10% or even a 50% increase of almost nothing? Still almost nothing, right? And then, what if you have some testicles there that are actually working? Well, when they're actually working, what can happen is, okay, my gonads are stimulating testosterone, so maybe I have a half-filled testosterone syringe there, and I take this test booster 10,000, right, and I get a little bit more testosterone there. Sweet. And then I start lifting weights and all of this kind of stuff, eating more protein and whatnot, and I don't get any remarkable changes, no real difference, no changes in body composition versus what I was doing before. So just a small increase in testosterone oftentimes doesn't result in actual changes in body composition. This is not a 500% increase in testosterone. Or what happens is you get this signal, and the adrenals have a feedback loop, and they say, you know what, we don't actually need you. Or you get your little bit of an increase there, testosterone goes up a little bit, and then you have a feedback loop that says, well, these guys are working, so we don't actually need you. And this testosterone gets aromatized and converted into estrogen or some other sex steroid metabolite, which is maybe a little bit anabolic, but still way less anabolic than your actual androgens. So that is why these things tend to actually work, but are still pretty much a scam.